Hi everyone, hope you are doing well from wherever you're watching this channel, depending on your time zone. I had done a lot of update about Bungoma by-election, and I think we have finished with the Bungoma County. The only issue that I had not brought on this punchline was the 2-day tour of William Ruto to Western region. So today, I want us to focus on William Ruto's tour of Western region. Now, first of all, Ruto had a meeting with the leaders from all the 5 counties of Western region. That is Vihiga, Busia, Kakamega, Bungoma, Trans Nzoia. And all these counties were bringing a delegation of 200 people from each and every county. Of course, after that, he went further to grace a graduation ceremony at Masindo Muliro University. There are several things, of course, he did. The issue to do with the airstrip and the expansion of Masindo Muliro University. About 16 acres of land he has ordered to be given to the university. Now, there are several things that happened during William Ruto's 2-day visit of Western region. And of course, we want to look into all those things. First of all, just to remind you, Ruto had an agreement with Musalia Mudavadi and Wetangula in Kenya Kwanza coalition, whereby Wetangula and Musalia Mudavadi had promised to deliver about 70% of the Western region vote to Kenya Kwanza. But it turned out that Musalia and Wetangula delivered only 32% of the casted votes. Now, of course, surprisingly, when Ruto got to Western region, first of all, I could realize that there is a different Ruto from the Ruto we knew earlier, especially when he came to Western region. First of all, Ruto was so much humble, and secondly, the same William Ruto was so much apologetic to the Luhya community, despite the fact that these people did not vote for him. They only gave 32%. The rest ilikuwa ni kura ya baba. Now, first of all, when the event was on, William Ruto, Musalia, Ababu Namwamba, among few other leaders, entered that event and walikaa chini. The event was going on. But after that, surprisingly, Francis Atwoli, who was one of the critic of William Samoei Ruto, entered into that function when the president had already arrived, and of course the function was going on. But when Atwoli entered, surprisingly again, President William Samoei Ruto decided in his own wisdom to stand up to receive Francis Atwoli. And it even forced other leaders, akina Musalia Mudavadi, Ababu Namwamba, akina Boni Khalwale, now to stand up to greet Mzee Francis Atwoli. So that to me, the opposite happened. It is Atwoli who was supposed maybe to receive William Ruto, among the people to receive William Ruto in Kakamega, and again, he was to be among the people to just stand up and greet the president. Instead, Ruto humbled, and he was the one standing up to greet Atwoli as one of the senior leaders in the Western region. Now, after that, when William Samoei Ruto took the microphone to speak, first of all, he decided to apologize to Mzee Atwoli for abusing him during the campaign. They used so many words to describe Atwoli, to demonize him. The president apologized. Number 2, he went further to announce or declare forgiveness to those people who abused him during the campaign in Western region. So it was a moment of forgiveness. That is what happened in Kakamega. And all this is actually politics playing here. So, first of all, I wanted to listen to William Samoei Ruto, and after that, we want to understand why did Ruto humble himself in Kakamega County and apologize to Mzee Atwoli. What does this one mean? Because this is serious. We want to check into that. But first of all, listen to Ruto himself.
Mimi vile vile nataka niwaambie kama watu wa hapa Kakamega, kama kuna mahali, unajua katika hii siasa mambo inapita kiwango, watu wanasema lugha ambayo si ya heshima, nyingine inapita inakuwa matusi, nyingine mambo hiyo yote nataka niwasihi tusameheane, tukae pamoja kama jamani. Unajua mzee Atwoli alikuwa ameambia watu wakate miti. Na mimi najua vile vile kuna mahali na mzee Atwoli anajua. Kuna mahali kama kijana nilimkozea heshima. Mzee, mimi nakuomba msamaha. Kama kijana kuna mahali haifai upitisha maneno kwa mzee. So na ile mambo mengine yote ilisemekana, kama kuna mtu amenikosea na wasamehe jameni. Tunaona hiyo. Kwa sababu hapa hakuna mtu atahama. Kwani kuna mtu atahama? Sisi wote ni watu wa taifa moja. So tuwache yale vile Waswahili wanasema yaliyopita si ndwele, tugange yaliyomo na yale ya mbele yetu. Tunakubaliana jamani?
Now we are continuing with the panel discussion, but just a quick request for those who are watching and you're not yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. Returning subscribers, thank you so much, and all our viewers, please give this video a thumbs up. Thank you, and back to this discussion. Now, why William Ruto apologizing to Atwoli? Because we know all of these two people had spoken bad things about each other. First of all, the obvious one is that Ruto would want to apologize to Francis Atwoli in front of all lawyers, mbele ya camera, so that it will be seen as Ruto has washed himself clean, and not to be seen as a man who has some grudge with some of the leaders from Western region. He wants to be seen as a humble person, and therefore, people can feel free to work with him in Western region. That alone, in one way or another, he managed to win. And the main reason here is the Atwoli factor in Western region politics. That's the reason why William Ruto decided to do what he did. Why? Because for those who have been watching Francis Atwoli careful, you are going to appreciate that in 2015, Atwoli made Musalia Mudavadi the Luhya kingpin using his own money. Again, the same Francis Atwoli, he is a man who always normally planned his own choice of people in all political divide. 2017, for those who remember, after preparing Musalia Mudavadi, what did he do? He negotiated with Mudavadi to work with Raila Amolo Odinga. Besides this, almost all members of parliament who are running on N's ticket, especially in Kakamega County, they were sponsored by Francis Atwoli. We are talking about people like Malala, who was running for the senator. Malala heavily depended on Francis Atwoli. He was just an MCA. And Atwoli, alisema, it was open, is the one who funded the Malala campaign in 2017. Someone like Sakaja in Nairobi, Atwoli was behind Sakaja in 2017. Almost everyone. I'm talking to people like Aseka Miradi, Ayubu Savula, Pastor Hamala, all of them. Francis Atwoli helped these people to run their campaign in 2017. And that can explain why Musalia Mudavadi managed to get 15 seats in the National Assembly in 2017. And then he was able to get 2 senators. The only thing he missed, it was governor. So you see from there, at least Mudavadi was heading to the right direction with the ANC party. But Atwoli was behind Musalia Mudavadi because according to him, he thought that Mudavadi should work with Raila Amolo Odinga for 10 years, and then from there, Raila was going to endorse Mudavadi, and then Mudavadi will pick there going forward. For me, that was a good approach, though their victory was stolen by Uhuru Kenyatta and William Samoei Ruto. These people actually won the 2017 general election. Waliibiwa tu. Like, as we are speaking now, Raila will be serving his second term, and then the way Atwoli had wished, he was just to endorse Mudavadi and things go nywe. So mambo ikapotelea hapo. So that's Atwoli for you. He will always plant people and again provide resources for these people to run their campaign successful. And he will never go for weak candidate. Now, come to 2022. When he differed with Musalia Mudavadi, what did he do? The same people whom he had sponsored in ANC party, he moved all of them to ODM party. Again, he promised to sponsor them. He sponsored their campaign and it was successful. Oscar Nabulindo, Titus Hamala, Aseka Miradi, Tindi Mwale, Ayubu Savula, Godfrey Osoti, all of these people, Atwoli was behind their campaign in Kakamega County. And is the one who assured them that he will make sure they get direct ticket from ODM party. So they succeeded. And as we're speaking now, after the 2022 general election, all of these people won their seats. So he will never go for weak candidate. And again, when he sponsors you, he's sure you will get it. So he's very calculative, unlike Musalia Mudavadi, who sponsors weak candidate in his own constituency, and then he end up being humiliated on the ballot. Atwoli is very clever. Because of this, Ruto would want to have Atwoli on his side in the 2027 general election, just to make sure that he can be rallying people behind Musalia and Wetangula to make sure he get it right. Again, for those who remember, just a few months ago, when Uhuru Kenyatta played the Luya Mlembe Nation in Nairobi County, because Luyas hoped that in Azimio, that is where they are putting their bet. But again, they thought that because the presidency, wamepea Raila Odinga, running mate Martha Karua, Prime CS Kalonzo Musyoka, the only option they were going to give Luya, ilikuwa tu waachie Nairobi, because unajua Nairobi is a big county, that is city county. So at least that is what they were putting their hope. But unfortunately, Uhuru Kenyatta pushed for the Mount Kenya candidate. So some stories were going on the street that people like Francis Atwoli were throwing their support behind Sakaja, because they were not happy with that move, but they could not say anything. So they were silently supporting Sakaja. That's the kind of a man we have in Francis Atwoli. A good schemer, a man who planned his people. So you can see he can be opposing you, but he has planted his own people on your side. And at the end of the day, once they win, Atwoli has his right. He can call here and there, and things will happen. Because these people were sponsored by him. That's how he always play his politics. William Ruto has realized this. He has been studying Francis Atwoli. And that's why he was humble and he was asking for forgiveness. And now he is incorporating Francis Atwoli to work with him going forward. That means Mudavadi and Wetangula without Atwoli, Ruto cannot get a substantive vote in the Western region. But with Atwoli, he believed he can. And that now takes us to ODM party. It is now high time ODM now to prepare themselves, or Azimio, being full aware that Atwoli is not with them. So they have to look for a way to replace Atwoli going forward and make sure that they are having their members of parliament, or if they are going, do they have better option to replace them with? That is now the big question in the building. Because it's like Atwoli will be with William Ruto in the next general election. Amesema hata kaa nje ya serikali.